Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. So we've got the muscle truck on the lift. As you guys saw in the last video, pretty sure the crank is toast. This is moving. Shouldn't be moving. So I finally decided that today's the day to tear this thing down and really investigate and see what happened here. We'll see how bad the bottom end is. So I'm gonna go ahead and start draining the oil, draining the fluids, and pulling the front accessories off of this thing so we can get to that timing cover. We'll have to drop the pan as well. So there is gonna be a little bit of work to do here today, but I think we're gonna be able to knock it out and get it done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling some of the stuff off and we can see how bad the 327 is hurt. All right, first things first. Went ahead and loosened this. So let's see if there's any like metal shavings in the oil. Because with the front of the crank being broke, I expect like some serious carnage here, but that sucked. There we go. It doesn't look too bad yet, but I'm sure the oil filter is probably way worse. I don't see any metal in that, surprisingly. The engine oil, it wasn't exactly trashed. It didn't look bad. Now we're going to drain the coolant out of this thing and start taking the front accessories off the engine. All right. I don't really like doing this on the lift, guys, but we're working with what we got here. So there's a last look at it all assembled till we break it down. One cool thing about working on an OBS truck is you've got plenty of room to do pretty much anything with it. So we're gonna let this drain and then we're gonna start tearing apart the rest of the pulley system. All right, getting the rest of the fluid out, and now starts the teardown. We're gonna go ahead and start pulling the front pulley system off the old 327 and eventually make our way down there to the oil pan where the truck will go back in the air again and pull the timing cover off of it. We can see how bad it's hurt. So I got the whole front pulley system off of the engine and we are looking good over here. Got the timing cover loose. I gotta go underneath now and take the oil pan off. That'll be the next step. I'm trying to keep everything a little bit more organized this time around rather than last time when we just kind of threw stuff around. So I've got me a skid over here keeping track of all the old parts. Of course, I used all the old system, pulley system that came off the 4.3. It was all reused, so that was really convenient. So if you guys are swapping from a V6 to a V8 in an old body style Silverado, make sure and use all the front pulley assembly and anything else on the engine that you're thinking about using as far as like bracketry and things like that. All this will bolt up to basically any small block Chevy. So it's pretty awesome that GM's late 60s technology will work with your 90s technology. That is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead now and get ready to pull the oil pan and we're going to see the carnage. Alright guys, down to the nitty gritty here. We're at the oil pan, getting ready to pull this off. I've got the front of the engine. As you can see, everything is ready to come out. All the bolts are out of the timing cover. So this is it. This is where the carnage is gonna unveil itself, because I'm pretty sure once I take this loose and I get the 3 bolts out of the cam gear, this crank should pretty much fall off in my hand. I'm really scared to see how bad off it actually is. I can't see it just yet, but oh man, I really dread doing this. So everything's got to come out, including the exhaust system on the muscle truck. So this has got to come off. Luckily though, I have everything bolted together right here. So that's going to be really convenient. I can just pull this loose, disconnect it from the headers, and then I'll probably just, support the back half of this exhaust somehow, strap it up out of the way or put some kind of a piece underneath it here to kind of hold it. As you can see, the exhaust system was a little bit too close to the rear end, so that's kind of a common problem on these trucks. If you do a big lowering kit on them like this one where it's got a flip kit and it's a 6-inch drop, you're going to run into problems going up and over that axle, so it just sucks. There's not really a good way around it. Well, we're going to keep moving though. Let's see how bad this carnage is. Alright guys, the oil pan is off and a damage report underneath. I can't really see anything wrong so far. It's just, if you're ever wondering about this engine, this is a stock bottom end 2-bolt, but it is a true small journal 327, so that's kind of hard to find. Oh boy, there it is. There's the first sign of carnage. You guys see that right there? Oh, you can't. It's not going to be able to show you this on camera hardly. Right here, there is a piece of what looks like the snout of the crank. It's really bad. Oh no. I actually think the crank may have been rubbing the main cap too. See how that main is a little bit scarred up? We'll just have to see the further down we go. But so far, it looks like the front of the crank is definitely broke off. But I don't know if it's broke past the main. Dude, the crank split. Y'all seeing that? Y'all see that crack? The crank has split. I can't tell if that's it or not. Ooh. That's not good. Alright, we're going to pull this timing cover off. We're going to keep going. It's really hard to show you guys this. The GoPro can't really do it justice, but there's a small hairline crack in the crank. Oh. Well, that tells the story right there. That's why the tensioner was going nuts. So if you're ever driving down the road and all of a sudden your belt tensioner bottoms out for no reason, you might want to check your balancer. And if your balancer is not just loose, your crank may be broke, which is what just happened here. All right, let's keep going. This gets worse. All right, guys, so you ready to see the carnage and what really happened to the muscle truck? This is it. I don't know if you guys have spotted it quite yet. There it is. You see that crack there? All right, check this out. Watch the front of this crank. And that's all, folks. That's all she wrote. It's been good. It's hurt a lot of Mustang owners' feelings. A couple 55s. And it surprised even me. It drove itself all the way home with the front of the crank basically disconnected and a burnt plug wire. So if that's a testament to Chevrolet, I don't know what else is. But one fun fact for you guys is all small journal cranks are forged. So I think that's the only reason why the thing didn't grenade itself into a million pieces. But there you go. There's an update video on the muscle truck. New engine is coming soon. I'm gonna surprise you guys on it. No more sneak peeks. We're just gonna do this thing, and you guys are gonna see a crazy video drop. And there may either be a big crate here or a bunch of parts, but you're just gonna have to subscribe and stay tuned for more on the muscle truck. And until next time, guys, check your balancer bolts, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, guys. So I just kind of set these in here for now, and just to get an idea of what it's gonna look like. Man, those look sharp. All right, guys, so we made a decision on what we're going to do here. So just wanted to show you guys real quick what the floor looks like and the bottom of the seat. All right, so here's how we're going to make this work. So if you have a power 5th gen Camaro bucket seat that you're going to install in an OBS Silverado, you're going to need about a 2-inch rise to get this thing sitting like perfect. If you buy the stuff from Corbu, you could probably make it work and you could cut it down. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just realize that there's a lot more money involved in that than there is to make your own. So what I'm actually going to end up doing is taking some steel tubing, and we're going to use this stud that's down here on the bottom to help locate. So we're going to take a piece of steel tubing. It's about 1.5 inches or 2 inches thick, probably 2 inches thick. Bore 2 holes in it, top and bottom, and on all 4 corners, and then run bolts down into the floor. Now the front is a little different deal, so it's not just bore 2 holes in the front. I'm actually going to have to slot this, because in the 5th gens, guys, as you guys can see there, that is a actual hook. And what that does in a 5th gen is, rather than using bolts in the front of the car, what they actually do is they lock into 2 slots. So that's the other thing we're going to do with this steel tubing. We're going to make us a little pocket so the thing can just kind of lock in. And you make it pretty tight to where that actual hook will just kind of lock into your seat bracket that you're making. And then you duplicate it ×2 and you've got. So what I'm actually going to do now is design some brackets and order some steel and just make our own. I've decided that I think for this truck and this application, for what I'm wanting to do with it, we just need to make our own brackets.